A Stanford PhD physicist applied for a rural clerk position. An Oxford-educated scholar with degrees from Tsinghua and Peking University now delivers food on a Meituan scooter in Beijing. According to China's Ministry of Education, 12.22 million graduates entered the job market in 2025, the largest cohort in history. Yet recruitment platform Zhaopin reports that only 48% received job offers. The National Bureau of Statistics placed youth unemployment at 16.5% in December 2025, but Peking University professor Zhang Dandan calculated the true figure could exceed 46% when including those who have simply stopped looking. Meanwhile, at the World Internet Conference in November 2025, a representative from artificial intelligence company DeepSeek declared that artificial intelligence could wipe out most jobs within the next 10 to 20 years. The country that mass-produced university graduates for nearly 3 decades now watches those same graduates compete for positions their parents would have considered beneath them, and the result is a deepening crisis. If China's elite, the graduates of the nation's most prestigious institutions, cannot find appropriate employment, then what does this crisis reveal about the fundamental promise of higher education in an age of artificial intelligence? The story begins in 1977, when China restored the Gaokao, the national college entrance examination, after the Cultural Revolution. For the next 2 decades, a university degree represented the ultimate ladder out of poverty. The numbers were modest. Just 1 million graduates entered the workforce each year by 1998. Then came 1999. The Chinese government launched the Action Plan to vitalize education in the 21st century with 2 strategic objectives. First, to stimulate consumer spending projected at 100 billion yuan. Second, to delay youth from entering a labor market already absorbing laid-off state-owned enterprise workers. Universities accepted 1.59 million students that year, a 47% jump from the previous year. The expansion succeeded beyond expectations. The gross enrollment rate climbed from 9.8% in 1998 to 60.8% by 2024, meaning more than half of college-age Chinese now pursue degrees. By 2016, China had 36.99 million enrolled students, 1/5 of the world's total university population. Annual graduates rose from 1 million to over 10 million by 2022. Families saved for decades, believing implicitly in what Yun Zhou, assistant professor of sociology at the University of Michigan, describes as the core promise: better job prospects, upward social mobility, a sunnier life outlook. By the early part of the decade, beginning in 2010, optimism for China's educated class reached its peak. Then something shifted. Artificial intelligence transformed theoretical threat into operational reality for China's graduates. Jobs that once served as entry points, such as basic programming, customer service, translation, financial analysis, and content creation, are being automated at accelerating speed. A December 2025 RAND Corporation analysis warned that recent graduates and low-skilled workers already in trouble are also the most vulnerable to AI, and that early disruptions will likely target entry-level white-collar work. The statistics paint a stark picture. McKinsey estimates that 50% of work activities in China could be automated. Job postings explicitly mentioning AI or large language models reached 19.18% of new positions between January and October 2025, up 7 percentage points year over year. Meanwhile, fresh graduate hiring at major technology companies has declined more than 50% over 3 years. Chen Deli of DeepSeek described the current moment as a honeymoon phase before mass displacement begins, saying at the November 2025 World Internet Conference that AI will shake society to its core. The mechanism operates on multiple fronts. Entry-level positions that once required basic analytical skills, reviewing documents, processing data, translating content, now face direct competition from AI systems capable of performing these tasks at scale. Recent graduates who would typically occupy these roles while developing professional experience find themselves competing not just against each other, but against technology that requires neither salary nor benefits. According to World Economic Forum data, 90% of Chinese employers identify AI as a transformational technology for their operations. China needs 6 million AI professionals by 2030, yet continues producing graduates trained for industries facing systematic elimination. But AI is only part of the story. Even before artificial intelligence entered the equation, credential inflation was already reshaping the landscape. The 12-fold increase in annual graduates, from 1 million in 1998 to 12.22 million in 2025, created a fundamental supply and demand imbalance. Research from China Higher Education indicates that the supply of tertiary graduates will exceed demand through at least 2037. The paradox is counterintuitive. Higher education attainment correlates with worse employment outcomes. According to Zhaopin data, master's and doctoral graduates received job offers at a rate of 44.4% in 2024, actually lower than bachelor's degree holders at 45.4%. Vocational school graduates fared best at 56.6%. The credential that families sacrificed for has become the baseline requirement rather than a competitive advantage. The numbers translate into painful individual realities. Over 5 million students registered for postgraduate examinations in 2024, seeking additional credentials to differentiate themselves in a saturated market. Civil service examination competition has intensified to 98-1, nearly 100 applicants for each government position. Odds are worse than Harvard's admission rate of roughly 25-1. The most competitive single position in 2025 attracted 16,702 applicants for one opening at the China Vocational Education Association. AI did not create this oversupply, but it supercharged its consequences. When technology can perform entry-level white-collar work, the glut of qualified graduates transforms from a competitive challenge into an existential crisis. Young professionals who might have waited for opportunities find those opportunities automated before they materialize. The problem doesn't end there. This brings us to one of the most politically charged aspects of the current crisis: the simultaneous regulatory crackdowns that decimated 3 of China's largest employment sectors between November 2020 and 2022. In November 2020, the government suspended Ant Group's $37 billion initial public offering, signaling the beginning of a comprehensive technology sector crackdown. By July 2021, ride-hailing giant Didi faced a cybersecurity review, triggering industry-wide layoffs. Data from the Cyberspace Administration confirms that 216,800 tech workers were laid off from 12 major Chinese companies between July 2021 and March 2022. Alibaba's workforce shrank from approximately 250,000 at its peak to around 124,000 by March 2025. The education sector suffered equally devastating losses. On July 24, 2021, the double reduction policy effectively destroyed China's $100 billion tutoring industry overnight. New Oriental Education alone laid off 60,000 employees and lost 80% of its revenue. Then came real estate. Evergrande's December 2021 default triggered a property sector crisis that continues to suppress employment. Proponents argue these interventions addressed genuine market excesses and speculation. Critics contend the timing proved catastrophic, removing hundreds of thousands of private sector positions precisely as graduate numbers peaked. The private sector, responsible for 80% of urban employment, simultaneously contracted while universities continued producing record graduating classes. Chinese graduates now face what economists describe as a triple squeeze: AI displacing entry-level positions, credential oversupply intensifying competition for remaining roles, and regulatory decisions eliminating entire industry categories that previously absorbed educated workers. Understanding the technological acceleration requires examining how AI capabilities have evolved. Large language models and generative AI systems can now perform tasks that required university-educated workers just 3 years ago: analyzing financial data, generating marketing content, translating documents, writing basic code, and summarizing research. The progression has been rapid. Goldman Sachs upgraded China's AI-related boost to gross domestic product, projecting 0.2 to 0.3 percentage points by 2030, following DeepSeek's emergence. The Chinese government's AI Plus plan targets 70% AI penetration across industries by 2027 and 90% by 2030. Job postings for AI-related positions exceeded 500,000 vacancies in 2024, with salaries 30 to 80% higher than traditional industries. Yet this technological transformation creates a fundamental mismatch. McKinsey estimates that 75% of workers who will be employed in 2030 are already in the workforce today, making reskilling critical. However, China has only approximately 5% of its industrial workforce made up of highly skilled technicians, compared to 40% in Japan and 50% in Germany. The gap between workforce preparation and technological requirements widens as AI capabilities expand. Here is where it gets complicated. Graduate job postings declined 22% in the first half of 2025 compared to the prior year. The positions being eliminated are precisely those that traditionally served as career launching points for degree holders. A Rand Corporation analysis concludes that early AI disruptions will likely target entry-level white-collar work and routine manual labor, the exact employment categories where recent graduates would typically begin. The result is displacement for many new entrants to the labor market. The picture is not entirely bleak. Historical precedent suggests that technological disruption rarely eliminates entire professions overnight. Instead, it transforms them. Goldman Sachs analysts argue that AI could help address China's aging society, since the working-age population may contract 25% over the next 25 years. Automation could theoretically compensate for demographic decline, maintaining economic output even as the labor force shrinks. The government has taken policy measures. In June 2024, it launched a 100-day recruitment campaign targeting 10 million job placements, and in April 2025, it allocated 66.74 billion yuan for employment subsidies, which is $9.2 billion. New categories are emerging. Tencent announced 28,000 internships over 3 years, its largest ever initiative. The Vocational Skills Upgrade Plan for 2025 to 2027 targets training 30 million workers. AI job vacancies offer significantly higher compensation than traditional industries, providing pathways for those who successfully reskill. Opportunity exists, but it is uneven. The nuance lies in understanding that opportunity and displacement operate simultaneously. Some graduates will successfully transition into AI-adjacent roles, data science positions, and emerging technology sectors. Government efforts to raise the civil service age limit from 35 to 38 and to 43 for certain advanced degrees acknowledge that traditional career timelines no longer apply. Transition requires time and new credentials, yet these opportunities often require specific technical skills or acceptance of positions far below educational attainment. Neither option aligns with the promise that motivated families use to invest decades of savings in higher education. The transition has been genuinely painful for China's educated youth. According to a Newsweek analysis, an estimated 20 million urban Chinese aged 15 to 29 remain jobless. Salary data shows 57.8% of 2024 graduates earn under 6,000 yuan per month, approximately $835, while average expected salaries exceeded 8,000 yuan. The gap between expectations and reality is typically 20% lower than anticipated. The widely promoted narrative that higher education guarantees prosperity has been thoroughly debunked. Over 70,000 food delivery drivers in China reportedly hold master's degrees. Over 20% of Meituan and LA.me drivers possess college degrees. Individuals whose families sacrificed for education are now competing for gig work against people with no advanced credentials. Young graduates have coined their own terminology for the crisis. The phrase lying flat, tangping, describes withdrawal from competitive striving. Bailan, meaning let it rot, emerged during the 2022 lockdowns as graduates abandoned conventional career aspirations. Most poignantly, young people call themselves rotten tail kids, a parallel to China's infamous unfinished apartment buildings. The metaphor suggests their futures, like the apartments their parents invested in, are not delivering on promises. Xiang Biao, professor of social anthropology at Oxford University and director of the Max Planck Institute, describes the phenomenon of involution, a dead loop in which people constantly force themselves, a race that participants are not allowed to fail or exit. Huang Ping of East China. Normal University offers a different perspective on lying flat. When you cannot catch up with society's development, for example, skyrocketing home prices, tangping is actually the most rational choice. Many young professionals feel as though the fundamental rules of their industry changed overnight. The rulebook they studied, work hard, earn credentials, secure stable employment, no longer applies. So, are we witnessing the end of the university to employment pipeline in China? Not exactly. But we are witnessing the end of that pipeline as generations understood it. The 1999 decision to expand university enrollment succeeded in its immediate objectives. It delayed workforce entry, stimulated consumer spending, and created the world's largest educated population. What it could not anticipate was simultaneous disruption across multiple dimensions: artificial intelligence eliminating entry-level positions, regulatory decisions removing entire industry sectors, and credential inflation devaluing the degrees families sacrifice to obtain. The statistics suggest a structural mismatch rather than a cyclical downturn. China will graduate 12.7 million students in 2026, continuing a trajectory that will exceed labor market absorption capacity through at least 2037. Meanwhile, AI capabilities expand quarterly, targeting precisely the white-collar positions that traditionally absorbed educated workers. The regulatory environment remains uncertain, with private sector caution persisting years after the initial crackdowns. For individual graduates, survival now requires either specific technical skills aligned with emerging industries or acceptance of positions that previous generations would have considered beneath their education. The civil service, once a backup option, has become the aspiration, with 63% of students now preferring public sector careers, compared to 42% in 2020. Competition for those positions approaches lottery odds. The question is no longer whether AI and market conditions will fundamentally reshape graduate employment in China. They already have. What remains uncertain is whether policy interventions can create pathways fast enough to absorb the millions entering a job market that may no longer need them, and what happens to a society when its most educated generation concludes that the rules they followed led nowhere. Want to see more videos like this? Subscribe for weekly updates and leave your thoughts in the comments below.